This property was originally mined in the mid-1800s, and I came along in the late 80s and remined it. One of the key factors in mining at the time that I did it was reclamation. Prior to that, most of the mining was done without the knowledge of what the effects of mining in the 1880s would have on the environment. We had to lay out a reclamation plan before we started mining, which included what would the land look like when we got done with it. And our goal was to put it into a series of ponds that would benefit the wildlife and enhance the stream flow and make a beautiful area for local people to come and have recreation. This project was actually unique, and the original reclamation plan was to level this and plant trees. Well, what I had observed is a lot of small trees that the tops had died, and it was because there wasn't any nutrients in the soil. So I proposed to the county, who is the landowner here, Josephine County, that we get creative and do something different. And it took a while, but eventually they agreed. So then we laid out about 11 ponds, which included shallow areas for certain animals and deep areas where fish could live year-round when the water gets warmer. And so the habitat that we saw is a series of ponds and trails running through them, and of course the big issue is water. And these ponds are designed to fill up in the winter and catch the rain, keep it from running off, and then during the dry season the water will slowly seep out. But when it gets halfway down, the rest of the pond was sealed so that it would never go completely dry and would become habitat for western pond turtles and different types of fish and frogs and beavers and muskrats throughout the whole year. That was our goal. It was a simple plan, but it is, years later now, it is still working. I grew up in a small logging town. Everybody that I knew made their living by either working in logging or working in the sawmill. And later on I got involved in mining, and my great-grandfather was a miner, my grandfather was a miner, my dad did some mining, I did some mining with my son. So we have a long history of being connected to the industry of logging and the industry of mining. But I look at myself as an environmentalist. I'm not opposed to regulations, especially when it comes to mining and logging, but we need to have a balance that allows us to protect the environment and to make a living by logging and mining. And I'm convinced that it can be done, and we can do it with far fewer regulations than what we have. There are just so many regulations that it makes it almost impossible to harvest trees properly or to get the resource of gold in the ground and make a living at it.